in the Motor City. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Indianapolis Colts and the Detroit Lions. Charles and I have been looking forward to this one all week, and we are underway from Ford Field. They'll start on the ground with Swift. Well, this defense for the Colts, they were fantastic a week ago in that win over Houston.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
Right back to Swift again on second down. And some space here. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark it down at the 49. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
And the Lions first down. First and 10 at the 49-yard line. 52. Right blue. Red cycle. 6.
Ready? Throwing now is Lance. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. The Lions at 9-6 now. They were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
On second down, Swift. And he's got some space here. Touchdown, Detroit.
Bottom line, when you play a runner with these talents, you've got to be able to wrap up and get him on the ground. Or the first person who gets there, hold him up long enough for the next wave to get there and get him down. Otherwise, he will continue downfield and find pay dirt.
Extra point by Koo, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Sometimes as a running back, you've got to be able to improvise when the hole's not where you expect it to be. But in this case, there wasn't any improvisation that he could do that was going to work. Kind of like if you're trying to be a comedian on open mic night at the Improv and you run into a tough crowd.
Second down, another run with Taylor. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
Howell throwing on third down here. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. The Colts send out their punter, standing right on his own 5-yard line. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Fielded at the 33. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. This could end up being a pretty big drive. I mean, look, yes, it's early in this game, but they scored the touchdown. They got the stop. And now if they could get in the end zone here again, CD, they could grab an early stranglehold on this one.
Yeah, they certainly can, and that's what you're looking for. Where's the advantage? Can you gain it? Can you press it? Now for them, finishing it off because right now...
Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Detroit. Another impressive drive. So they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get Stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Howell's throw going into the hands of Williams. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Indianapolis moving the chains there on a gain of 12.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Second down, Howell now. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. And Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football. Because remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defense.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And it's now 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. And Lance now to throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. And he's brought down, but he has it down to the 12 on a pickup of 12. 1st and 10. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage, if he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer. And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
In motion comes the tight end left. They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Right back to Swift again on second down. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
On third down, here comes Swift. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. DeAndre Swift doing it again with his third touchdown here in the opening quarter. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Extra point by Koo, up and good. And it is 28-0. So this not what we expected. 28-0 here in the first as another kickoff is away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And now 1 yard to go on third down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender. But the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
They'll try and run for the first with Taylor. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on fourth. We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. The Colts send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the second time. On the punt, 2 on the return,
and they will take over first and 10.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, everything right now that they touch on this side of the football, it seems to turn to gold. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. That lead continues to grow, and I mean, if they can get points here, Charles, might almost be an insurmountable comeback for the other side.
I think you make a great case for that, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side. Could they make the big comeback? Certainly. Am I expecting it? Not at all. I think if we don't see a drastic change in how they're playing, this blowout's going to get bigger and bigger before the final gun.
Working from the gun, Lance. He finds his man, complete. It's Lucas. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 47.
The Lance going to throw. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
They will run straight ahead with Swift. And he's got this down to the 35.
158 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Lance with a tap forward on the jet sweep.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Back to the running game with Swift.
Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
Throwing his Lance on third down. He's going to get that to Swift underneath. And the Lions are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Everything's going right here in this first half, and they've got a good lead. And part of that can be attributed to their success on third downs. This is another conversion here, and they can look to really open things up now with this first and goal.
And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. DeAndre Swift on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Lions are able to add on to their first-half lead. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And that makes this 35-0 now.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. He finds his man, complete. It's Miles. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
They'll find Schwartz complete right side.
So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And it's second down.
Throw left side.
The ball comes out. And this is going to get out of bounds. So they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. Howell looking to throw again. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
They'll throw on first down. Here's Howell.
It's caught on the right side. Williams. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a first down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. First down, Howell to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Schwartz. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. And a nice milestone reached on that last throw is here late in the season. He goes over 4,000 yards passing.
And he's really thrown the ball well all season long. Had some big games along the way. He's inspired his receiving corps to go out and make plays for him in each and every ball game.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd down.
They'll run the toss here with Taylor. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. Give them a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Here's Howell. He's got it. Touchdown, Colts. Anthony Schwartz, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Colts are able to at least get one score back. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. The Colts kicking team is out there now, and they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well, so that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Eluding the pressure right, and an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
The defender certainly didn't forget about him leaking out of the backfield. There's a guy ready and waiting to pick him up in coverage, and that throw had no shot.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
On the ball.
Here's Lance. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. 23 yards the pickup there.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground. That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
And some room to maneuver. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another 1st down.
1st and 10. 37-yard line.
They'll run the draw here with Swift. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This one from 48 yards away. Koo knocks this one through the post, and that will do it for this 1st half. So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the second half of Week 17 is underway. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. So already not the best of kick returns there, but that penalty, that adds insult to injury and backs him up even closer to the goal line.
Yeah, not ideal field position to begin a drive, is it? Because the extra pressure now goes on the offense. They've got to get some early yards and get away from the shadow of their own goalposts. What every offense wants to do in this situation, get 2 first downs to help out with field position at the least.
Up the middle, here's Taylor. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game, and really they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has now allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2, here's Howell. Got his man, it's Williams. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Colts.
1st and 10, Taylor now. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. Well, that ground game just continues to struggle to really get any momentum in this ball game, Charles. And I mean, you're at the point here, 3rd quarter, down 4 scores, probably going to have to put it in the air.
Oh, no question about it. So that's your only chance, your only opportunity.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Lions will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They'll start following the interception in great field position at the 45. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. On first down, Howell. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Running straight ahead, Taylor. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12. This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the 3rd quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him. Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10.
Ready up.
Swift going to try up the middle. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
I think we call that season's greetings right there. He came up, pow! Knocked him for a loss.
Right back to Swift again on second down. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw.
Now Lance unable to escape, and down he goes. Quiddy Pay in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Here comes the Lions punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Taking it about the 16. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Colts will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. A win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Hal trying to pick it up on third.
That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it.
And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Hal to the air on 1st and 10.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
On the handoff, Taylor.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 2nd and 11 now.
Powell.
Touchdown! A great play there. 37 yards.
And the Colts get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this fourth quarter deficit.
Extra point right down the middle as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They could definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Now Lance.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. They find some open field here. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one good for 26 and a first down.
Well, partner, they've used him quite well out of the backfield in this one. Here's another nice example. They set up the screen, and he's able to pick his way downfield for a nice gain there.
Here we go. Practice.
Throwing on first down is Lance. And he'll get this into the hands of Swift once again. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. Partner, I know we're still in the afternoon slate here. Some primetime games still on the docket, but it's going to be tough to top this effort. What an offensive performance we have seen. They have been unstoppable from the moment we began this game, and they're not holding back. They're still throwing the football here in the fourth.
They certainly are, and let me tell you something. If you're old school, you don't like this at all. But in today's football, you just go ahead and savor it. Watch a team execute at a high level. Doesn't matter what the scoreboard says.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Lance. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to him.
All right, let's give them a little bit of applause here. Good for them because this has been a defensive nightmare for them thus far. At least they're finally getting a couple of big plays. Won't make the scoreboard of the ride home easier, but one good moment to watch in film next week.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Here comes the Lions punter now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. He'll return it from the 6. A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive.
Hal now to throw it.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Now Hal.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked off by Deshaun Elliott.
And the Lions are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they've got the huge lead now. They have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
On the handoff, this is Swift. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. My, oh my, 237 yards rushing for him in this one as he starts to draw nearer to a 1,500-yard campaign. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Throwing now is Lance. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete. The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
Here's a handoff to Swift.
And he'll get 4 there, down to about the 12-yard line.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Here's Swift. And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
An 18-yard attempt.
Koo knocks this one through the post, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
A throw down the field, caught by his running back. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
It's a gain of 25 yards. And the Colts first down.
Now throwing on first down here. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. Charles, are you kidding me? 4 interceptions? I mean, that's a good season for a lot of defensive backs.
A lot of reason to get voted into the Pro Bowl. When you have 4 in one game, I mean, talk about a campaign slogan, right? I got 4. Send me to the Pro Bowl, guys. What a game we've experienced watching this one.
Ready, break.
And they will take a knee here. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Field goal coming from Younghoe Koo. Right hash mark of 42-yard attempt. Koo knocks this one through the post, and that will extend their lead even further. So they got the turnover, started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. That defense able to hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. Goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Howell throwing on third down here. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Howell from the gun. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Taylor. Now the Colts will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. And once more, Howell back to the air. And he will find his man Schwartz. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions, and it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for Detroit, they get a critical 10th win on the year with 1 game left to go.